Hello and welcome to today's edition of The Reaction with me, Mikajikop and Charlie. We are in for another serious conversation that is trending on our social media. This is a writer by Manasseh Awuni, an award-winning Ghanaian journalist and a writer. Right, he's questioning some of the opinions and submissions of our well-known Professor Gyampo on one of his shows that he usually makes an appearance for. I think it's on TV3, one of the traditional media stations in our country. We normally see him make an appearance on the key points every Saturday morning. It's a very beautiful show that I will urge everyone to be watching because it is very insightful. Personally, every Saturday I will normally watch before I head on. When it is 9 a.m., I head on to go watch Alaji and Alaji on Pan African TV. And you can even listen to them on 90.5. That is Radio Gold. And I have no problem with the traditional media. For me, I feel like they are doing a yeoman's job. They've kept us. Look, it is not on a hindsight or it is not by joke that our first president had made sure that Ghana Broadcasting Corporation was built. And at the time, you saw how powerful the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation was. It is just unfortunate that over the years, their leadership have failed to keep the standards high. As a country, we've lost a lot of standards in our daily activities, our daily whatever we do, we've lost it. Our standards are no more there. Clearly, let's move into it. Charlie, you see, Professor Gyampo Akikan can say, I listened to him, and for me, it was just an opinion. And you know how fragile uh, Manasseh Azure feels when it comes to the SML deal. For me, he has always been there, and I like when people have their stance on a particular issue where they feel it is wrong. Once it is wrong, it is wrong. If it is good, it is good. And so for me, Amana Zazui, he's even one of the people who championed the Zoom Lion case where he cautioned government not to extend the contract for Zoom Lion once it expires. I've heard people say that government has cancelled Zoom Lion's contract. Government did not cancel it. It rather expired, and government has decided not to continue with any deal with Zoom Lion and has decided to open up to other people who would want to at least go in for it. Now let's get into it. So he posted this few hours ago. He says that Gyampo has exposed himself. This is from Manasseh. You can get to his X page, and he has bulletin. He has put every conversation that he wants to say into bulletin. So I will just take it one after the other. It says that Professor Gyampo has admitted he texted the special prosecutor Kisie Jabin and cautioned him not to cause financial loss to the state even as you go about your investigations. He texted when officers from the Office of the Special Prosecutor and National Security were still conducting an operation at SML with court warrants. Now, listen here. Whatever statements, submissions made by Professor Gyampo, it was in his own opinions. I'm just trying to let Manasseh Azuri understand it. Mr. Manasseh Azuri, it was in his own capacity as possibly somebody who also cares about the nation, who feels like we should not do XYZ, which is going to cause financial loss to the state. However, we should always make sure that as public officers, we are going to spend prudently. So on a case where a public officer, like Professor Gyampo, just as he has been given the appointment to work in office, you would want to just at least thinking of the special prosecutor, he is just requesting or giving him a certain caution that man, as you go on to investigate, he never said don't investigate. He says that move on with your investigations. However, spend wisely, be prudent with your spending. Make sure that you are not going overboard with your investigation. So that's the first thing I would want Mr. Manasseh Azuri to take note of. He moves on and says that number two, in what capacity did Gyampo make the caution to the Office of the Special Prosecutor? Is he the PRO of the SML? Does he work for the GRO to be able to make that determination? Now, for me, in that same context, in what capacity did Gyampo make that caution to the Office of the Special Prosecutor? Mr. Kisie Jabe, Mr. Manasseh Azuri, we should begin to understand that if we live in a community where we feel so friendly, we feel so good, when once we see anybody, we are so comfortable with everybody because we are all seen as one people. Look, take it or leave it. I have not seen Manasseh Azure before. If I see him today, just a handshake. Oh, how are you? Then the next thing, he's even going to call me, my brother, how are you? So in that same capacity, oh, Mr. Office of the Special Prosecutor, we are begging you, Mr. Kisie Jape, as a brother, as a friend, that I know you have your contact. Not everybody has the opportunity to call the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Not everybody has the opportunity to call Mr. Jape. So he has the opportunity to, and he feels like majority of the Ghanaian populace would want to caution him that as he moves on with his investigation, he should not at any point in time decide to go on into an investigation which will yield no result at the end of the day. Now you ask that, is he the PRO for SML? If you know something, you tell us, Mr. Manasseh. If you feel that in the capacity in which or in the submissions in which Professor Gyampo made whatever statement he made, he has some personal interest, then you come and tell us, right? Go straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. I know you. If Professor Gyampo has any interest, come out and tell us, rather than asking this question. Ah, well. Number three, when the President Akufo-Addo suspended SML's operations in the first 6 months of 2024, the Ghana Revenue Board Chairman Joe Garte released a press statement in July 2024 and stated that the GRA had exceeded its target for the first 6 months of 2024 in a historic, in quote, way. This was the same period during which SML's activities at the port and the downstream petroleum sector were suspended. Later, the KPMG report said the SML operations at the port were already being performed by the GRA, so the contract was cancelled. So what financial loss is Gyampo talking about? Okay, okay, okay. Manasseh, we are making sense here. If in this same paragraph that you claim His Excellency the former president had cancelled the contract with SML because at the time government feels like the kind of job they were doing was the responsibility of the Ghana Revenue Authority, right? Then in that 6 months, what financial loss is Gyampo talking about? Is, is Gyampo hiding something? No, I'm speaking on the basis of what Manasseh Azure is trying to point out to us. Is there anything we don't know? Because if something has been cancelled and in that same space, you say that a financial loss, what financial loss is that? It means that there is a financial loss that somebody is not telling us. Hello. No, I follow it. In 2024, the first 6 months, government cancelled SML's deal or has suspended SML deal with, with government, and that had allowed Ghana Revenue Authority to continue with their business. So in that same 6 months, if Gyampo is talking, on what basis is Gyampo saying that government would accrue any losses or there was going to be any financial loss? Now he moves on and says that the KPMG reports, specifically pages 157 and 158 respectively, shows emphatically that the SML's operations do not affect revenue or volumes of petroleum product. In fact, SML recorded the lowest volumes. The KPMG report says the 400 million liters a month, which SML claimed its operations had brought about, was already being recorded in 2019 before SML started operations in June 2020. So how would anybody lose revenue if SML's operations are disrupted by the Office of Special Prosecutor? Cash. In other words, then it means that it is likely that Professor Gyampo had no his information wasn't concrete enough, or he knows something we are not aware of, right? If I'm getting my answer right, the submissions made by Professor Gyampo was valid. However, for me, I think that there is a space in here that nobody is willing to talk about. The gray area there, nobody is willing to talk about. And I'm jumping some few lines. Let me get to the last one. It says that anybody who doubts, that's the number 12 of what Manasseh Azure was saying. It says that anybody who doubts the fact that SML's shady businesses, shady operations have not impacted Ghana in any positive way should read pages 157 and 158 of KPMG's report. It's online. They can watch our investigative documentary in which the company admitted to making false claims and subsequently deleting them from SML's website. They should ask Gyampo and the other SMO defenders that if SMO says it's not checking under declaration, diversion, or direction, okay, what specific anomaly is the company curbing, for which reasons was paid over $141 million by the end of 2023. So 1 year you money a saying not in your question, so $141 million. So let's see. Professor Jampo, they say come and provide us with information. Now in the comment section, a lot was going on. So Simon Kofitete says that Charlie Ransford Jampo should be investigated for a possible relationship with the SML contract too. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Odi was how to have anima Udi. So I agree. A few things here. Omar Mohammed said he visited the SML office for briefing and to him what explanations did they explain to him. So in most he says that he said so in one of TV3's so Mohammed Charlie and other ones. So somebody here says Kofi fast. In the comment section it says that I don't even get the point. The explanation given to what Gyampo said are far parallel. Boy, you are just trying to put things where they are not, trying to incite the public against him. Oh, Charlie, it's far from that. It's far from that. If somebody has more information to help a special prosecutor prosecute wrongdoers, I think it's fair enough that he's questioned and then he brings out that information. So I'll add this one, last one to it. Ketichi Kofi Asante Jampo should be reminded that the one who appointed him has cautioned his appointees of no shielding when state investigative bodies come for them. Proof your actions should be guided by this before you find yourself. So an advice. This is where we bring an end to today's edition of the reaction with me, Kaji Robin. I'm out. Bye.